you can see him on the streets every single time. Maharaj has traveled different countries promoting the walking culture. Maharaj has walked across Canada from East Coast to West Coast 4 times. Isn't that crazy? But not just that. Wait, we have more. So Maharaj also have covered countries like US, Israel, Ireland, Trinidad, Mauritius, Guyana, Fiji Islands, and the walking is still going on. Well, Maharaj here is a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. You can see his TT on your right-hand side. Sorry, I'm bad with it. Yeah, on your right-hand side. And Maharaj encourages everyone to walk across different countries and encourage that there's different aspect of life and we should try to be in our one. Well, Maharaj has been serving in this ISKCON community for more than 15 years and Maharaj here. 50 years, yeah. Sorry about that. And he is a Bhakti Yoga teacher, a marathon walker, a poet, a director, an actor, a guide, a mentor, a spiritual master, what not? Maharaj, you are everything. Yeah. But yeah, I don't want to take a lot of time now. It can take hours, honestly. So I'll hand over this mic to Maharaj with a big round of applause. Haribol!
Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay? Jai Haribol. Thank you very much for coming to join us today. I'm just going to start off by singing a bhajan that our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, used to sing before saying a few words. Okay? Some of you may know it. Some of you may not. But here we'll go anyways. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girvaradhariya Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihariya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Sri Radha Madhava ki Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Hare Krishna. So for the next few minutes we'll concentrate a little bit on who is Ram, who is Sita, who's Krishna, who's Radha. We'll try to melt them together, but we'll mainly focus on the personality of Ramachandra. Before we start, though, would you purpose be able to stay nearby? I need someone to have the Mahamantra board come out here. Okay, before we start, we're just going to engage you in an activity. It's called Japa meditation, okay? And in it, there are three primary words. That is Hare, Krishna, and Rama, all right? Some of you might be familiar with it, and some of you are almost sitting on top of it. That's why it's a little bit hard to... Do you move back just a little bit? Okay. Very good. Thank you. A little sliding yoga won't hurt anybody. Okay, you can see okay the mantra here? So I'm going to take my beads, my Japa Mala beads, and I'm going to use my thumb and the middle finger and chant on my beads next to the head bead, which represents Krishna, and the 108 beads surrounding it represent Krishna's best friends, the gopis. What do you think about that? Hare Krishna. So we'll just go along. You've been already chanting the mantra. Repeat after me. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama, 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 Hare, Hare. So this chanting of this mantra, which is about three personalities, Radha, Krishna, and Rama, are a way to pacify the mind. It's recommended that we chant this almost under any circumstances. And that is, we will... It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're doing the dishes or whether you're racing to get to the bus to make it on time to catch it at your studies or your workplace or to get to the temple. It doesn't matter. If you just chant this mantra during the course of the day, you'll feel incredible peace. Okay? So we'll start that together. We'll do it in unison. We'll give ourselves 3 minutes, if that's okay. And can you be our... my clock stopper, is that okay? 3 minutes, we'll do that. And I would recommend we sit with our back, neck, and head erect in a straight line and constantly stare at your eyelids. What I'm saying is that if you close your eyes, it'll be good. If you don't know the mantra, I'd recommend that you cannot see from the eyeball to the board here. So you might have to keep your eyes open for that. I know I'm being a little silly and facetious, but don't mind me, that's the way I am. All right, so we'll do it together. 1, 2, 3, go. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram. Nice and loud and slow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's it. Haribol, thank you very much. You can pat yourselves on the back for doing such a good job. Hare Krishna. You all look just fabulous. You're dressed so nicely. You all look absolutely delicious tonight. So I am just going to quote from one of the great poets of recent, not recent times, but in the past, some centuries ago. A great poetical writer. His name's Jayadev Goswami, and he wrote the famous song called Das Avatar. Many people dance to it. And there are many different avatars. That means many different incarnations of God. And Ramachandra is one of them. So when we talk about avatar, it means an expansion or incarnation of the Lord. It is Krishna, however, is not in the list of the 10. Das means 10. And the reason is because he is avatari. He is the source of the other avatars. Okay? So that puts him a little apart. We're going to spend the next few minutes exploring the connection between the two, Ram and Krishna. But as I said, we'll concentrate on Ram. So from the 10 glorifications of the 10 avatars, we have this one about Ramachandra. Vitarisi dikshurani dikpati kamaniyam dasamukha mauli balim ramaniyam keshavadrita rama sharira jaya jagadish hare. And the translation, O Keshava, O Lord of the universe, O Lord Hari, who has assumed the form of Ramachandra. All glories to you. In the battle of Lanka, you destroyed the 10-headed demon Ravana and distributed his heads as a delightful offering to the presiding deities of the 10 directions, a feat long desired by them all, whom that monster had much harassed. Hare Krishna. So I wanted to bring to your attention, we have the Ramayana. The author is Valmiki. And he came from an interesting background. He was a bit of a criminal. He didn't have the best portfolio, but he became purified by chanting the name Rama. It was a little bit of a trick or treat, if we could use that term. Narada Muni, a great sage, he said, well, you're known for killing, murder, those kind of things, so here's what we can do for you. I'm going to give you a mantra, and it goes like this: Mara, Mara, Mara. And you keep saying, if you keep saying Mara, 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 it'll transition into Rama, Rama, Rama. So in this way, Valmiki became a transitioned person. And he was able to become very qualified eventually to scribe the pastimes, or get the written word of the pastimes of Ramachandra. Okay, so we hear about Ramachandra in the Ramayana, his pastimes. A summary of it is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 9th canto. This is a book with 12 cantos or segments, and in the 9th segment, we hear about Ramachandra. Now, what's so significant about Diwali and Ramachandra is that it's a festival of lights, right? Also called Deepavali sometimes means many lights. And light represents many things. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse 11, Krishna talks about a light in terms of dissipating the darkness. He's seated in the heart of the individual, and we all have some dirt inside of us, right? Does anybody here will admit to the fact that I've got a little bit of a dose of jealousy, maybe some anger, perhaps some lust, some greed, some madness, and a little bit of illusion? Would that just perfectly, or let's say fairly accurately, describe our situation within? How many people are in that category? Okay. Doing pretty good? Okay. And if you're not in that category, if you're pure, then I'll come and kiss your lotus feet. Okay. So it was like 5 days. Ramachandra had defeated the big ogre monster, Ravana, who was known to be quite intelligent. He had 10 heads. But he was overcome. Doesn't matter how intelligent you are, if you're overcome by principles like kama, lust and greed, lobe, and the rudra, the krodh, anger, your intelligence will not operate. It'll be obscured, right? So Ravana was wreaking havoc, and he had to be subdued, and it was Ramachandra who did that. He used a bow and arrow when that was common weaponry or ammunition, and he did a fairly good job at eliminating Ravana, who was quite... Thank you very much for jacking up the volume. Okay, do that in the beginning, we'll be okay. All right. Yeah. So let's go back many, many years. In fact, let's go back to a different era, a different time, called Treta Yuga. We now live in Kali Yuga. Prior to this, we were, the time epoch was Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, during the time of Krishna. And during the time of Ramachandra, we're talking about Treta Yuga. It was a long time ago, over 1 million years ago, and the great sovereign of the time was Dasarath. So he ruled the world for 60,000 years, which would be our equivalent to 60 years. Now, we had a mayor in Mississauga, Hazel. She took that post for many years, decades, the longest running mayor in North America. And so we have, Dasarath had a record, and he made an announcement to all his citizens, the people of Ayodhya, and now it is my time to retire, and I will transfer my sovereignty to my eldest son, Ram. He had 4 children, they were all boys, and Ramachandra was the oldest, and he was loved by all the citizens. Just like people, they go crazy over the royal family, right? And they just always talk about them. What did she do? What did he say? Blah, 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 all these kind of things. And look at how they're dressed, The women always wear hats, they're like this, or like that, or forward. And the guys are also decked out in some kind of formal attire. They look really good, like many of you look today. And so people had their attention on Ram, but he was exiled to the forest just at the dawn or the eve of when he was to be installed as the king of the world. And the reason is because Dasarath, who had 3 wives, he actually, one of them was a little bit ambitious, and she decided that I'm going to ask for favors to my husband, Dasarath, at this very critical time. So once Dasarath was at war, he fought on behalf of his people, and he was severely wounded. And so his wife, Kaikeyi was her name, she nursed him back to health. And he gave her a benediction, a boon, he said, 2 boons actually. He said, for this service you have rendered me, I will give you 2 boons. So in the future, you will ask whenever you wish, you can ask them of me. So now is the time for her to, let's say, put out her wishes. And so the first one was, I want my son, my own son, Bharat, to be installed as the sovereign of the world. And I want Ram to be banished to the forest for 14 years and to be dressed in robes of bark. So that news, when it came to Dasarath, who was so much in love with his son Ram, he just thought the world of him, he fainted. He got up, but that grief lingered with him, and eventually he died from a heartbreak, right? Ram was to leave, and being an obedient son, he just said, you're the king, you're my father, I'll do as you wish. You want me to jump off a cliff, I'll do it. If you want me to jump into fire, I'll do it. That was the kind of mood that Ramachandra carried. That's why everybody loves him so much. Right, so Ram proceeded to do what his father reluctantly asked him to do, and that was to go to the Dandakaranya forest, somewhere in the south of India. And it was at this time where Ramachandra, although very strong in every way in character, where he gained even greater strength by living a life of tapasya, austerity, in the forest. Along with him, accompanying him, was his dear wife Sita, lovely queen princess. And so then also the brother Lakshman, they all went together to share in a life of hardship, or let's say simplicity, in a place called Chitrakoot, and they lived in a cabin. Some of us get excited maybe about the prospect of living in a rustic setting. Are some of you those people? Would you like to go camping sometime? Has anybody gone camping, done the real Canadian thing? Up in bear country, moose country? Okay, if you haven't, you should try it. It's a real incredible experience. So they lived like that for a long time. Now, so Sita was kidnapped 1 year before the expiry date by Ravana. Ravana was kind of a lusty guy, and he just, whatever he wanted, he got. So he thought to take away Sita. But there was some condition. He was not able to be forceful on any woman. The curse came from Kuvera, who was one of the great gods, and he said, if you so much as get aggressive like this, immediately your body will crumple up. It will break into millions of pieces. Just like, have you ever been in an accident or in a car and you've seen the windshield break into pieces, into smithereens? Well, that's what would have happened to Ravana's body. So he remembered that, and he decided, I'm not going to rough up Sita in this way. I will not, for the common term, I will not rape her. So he had to be very careful. And he was just trying to convince her, give her all the best that royalty could offer. And Sita would not back down. She said, I am dedicated to Ram, and that is my only love in life. So Ravana didn't like to hear that kind of thing. He'd get quite angry. And then he kind of turned from being a real nice Mr. Gentleman to being a bit of a monster. And he released her to a particular garden where there was a lot of shoka trees. They're very tall trees. And it could just be a little quieter, guys. Just whisper a little bit. Okay. And then, so she was, let's say, being roughed up by these Rakshasis, not nice Matajis, if I can use that term. And so what happened was she was, they tried to mistreat her, but she was saved. She was spared by one very pious Rakshasi. Her name was Trijata. If you wrote, we all know Lakshman, Hanuman, and so on, and Sita and Ram, but Trijata is kind of a key character. She saved Sita from being severely harassed. And so just remember, tree like a tree, jata, tree, jata. If you could say that, tree, jata. Tree, jata. Okay, she's a cool cat. Okay, and so it happened that Hanuman, he had joined the phalanx of Ramachandra and Lakshman, and there was also a massive, very, let's say, intimidating bear, Jambavan. Actually, was like a cuddly bear, but he was ready to fight. There was Angad, along with Hanuman, who were serious members of the Simian army, which is like a monkey army. And there was also Jatayu, also a warrior, a vulture. The story is just amazing. And these are like these are very advanced souls who could communicate in language that everybody could understand. So Jatayu, he was a vulture who fought on behalf of Sita to try to release her after Ravana tried to unappropriately mishandle her and take her away. And it's been years since we did the play of the Ramayana. I used to play Jatayu, the old vulture. And one of my colleagues, this Krishnadas, who played Ravana, and we'd have these wonderful rehearsals where we just try to knock the crap out of each other. Okay, but the story goes that Ravana came out to be successful, and so Jatayu died like a great warrior, and he was very much honored by Ram. Ram had to cross the ocean, a strait, let's call it a narrow, the Indian Ocean, to get to the north shore of Lanka, and he did that successfully after much meditation and austerity. And Hanuman, no problem for him. He was the son of the wind god, so like the wind, he could just fly anywhere, like Superman, like that, And we sometimes have to wonder where these superheroes come from. They come from the Vedas. They come from these stories, People need to know that. They need to know these things. Star Wars, they've got Luke, I think he's compared to Lakshman. I mean, study these things. You see, they got all these ideas from the Vedic literatures, So then, what happened was a great battle ensued. Hanuman was able to go there, report back to Ram before he was able to get over. By the way, how did they get over? By a causeway over the sea. A causeway could be a bridge. A causeway could be some kind of trail. So by balancing on a series of rocks, the army of Hanuman, they were able to go to the north shore and then finally make an attack on Lanka. And using fire and other weaponry. And it was Ramachandra who used his bow and arrow, and he shot right to where it hurts. For Ravana, his vulnerable spot on his body was the navel. So that did him in, and he died. Now, the interesting thing about Ram, he always looked at the good at everyone. And even if, since Ravana was kind of a bully, and I shouldn't say bully, because bulls are nice, especially if you treat them nice. He was just a monster. Still, he felt he fought heroically. So he saw his Kshatriya side, he saw his warrior side, and he blessed him, let's say. Now, battle is over, Sita is won. There's more complications to the story. Sita was protected by Agni Dev, and a Maya Sita was produced. So Ravana wasn't really dealing with a real Sita after all. It was just an imitation Sita. What shall I say? What would be a best? Shadow might be a word. Counterfeit. If I can use that term. Counterfeit Krishna, Sita. So Sita, however, was released from the fire god who did that honorable thing of protecting her. And then, so now it's time to go back home, back to Godhead. And Godhead in those days meant Ayodhya, the place up north, right? And in the province of which is now known as which province? Uttar Pradesh, UP, right? So, of course, everyone knows about the great temple has been built there recently, and it was a glorious story there. So, about 5 days before they reached, Ram, who was with Hanuman, he said, "Go over there and tell them we're coming," you know? And so there was an anticipation for a royal, ceremony, pompous ceremony, and the way that finally Ram was greeted was with these lights, diyas, ghee wicks, ghee, which comes from the ahimsa cow and ahimsa bull. I think we can't be too sexist about these things. We have to recognize the bull is as important as the cow, because without the bull, you don't have any babies, and you don't even have milk. So we have to give some, let's say, equal, let's say, equanimity in our lookout to the bulls and the cows. So it was that Sita and Ram and Lakshman and Hanuman returned, Hanuman being ahead of them, and flames which were drenched in ghee were burning to greet, and that's why we have the Festival of Lights. It represents victory over darkness, victory over evil, and there is a lot of evil in us, but I've found it's very helpful to actually not look at the evil of others, but look at the evil within. That's going to be because you're the one to change you. Other people might change you if you have a guru, or gurus in your life, or like we have parents. They help us, straighten us out, especially when you were young and frivolous. So all those dynamics are there in Vedic culture. So everyone greeted Ram, and when he was there, the so-called king, Bharat, who sort of kind of superficially, it's not a criticism against him, ruled Ayodhya for that time, was now greeting Ram with these lights. And the very shoes of Ram that were left behind 14 years prior were now given back to Ram, and those shoes were on the throne for the king. And they went to the rightful owner, that's Ram. So Ram ruled after that. People were really happy. Let's not mistake the position of Bharat. People loved him as well, and he was quite dissatisfied with the bargain arranged by his mother. He was not very upset with her. So Ram is the kind of person, very soft-hearted. He didn't take personal offense against what Kaikeyi did to have him banished. Because when you go and you live, you rough it up. When you go and go camping for several days in the wilderness, you come out a lot stronger. And you wonder, why am I going to this dreadful city? I should just stay out here and lead a good life, a simple life. And so we're celebrating Diwali, and it's a very special day. In India, people celebrate Diwali with these lights. They also do Rangoli, and that's whether inside the house or outside the house with, I believe it's colored rice powder, and it's something that the ladies specialize in, and they all get kind of excited about being decorative. People dress nice in full colors, and just like, the saris that you're wearing and the tops you guys are wearing, it looks pretty incredible. So at Diwali, it's a time to kind of dress up and remember Ramachandra. Now, just a few minutes to connect the two, Ram and Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, here, we have many references to Ram. Now, people get a little confused about the chronological time factor. Who's first? Now, people will say, like I mentioned, in Treta Yuga, Ram appeared. In Dwapara Yuga, just before Kali Yuga, Krishna appeared. However, we must take note of this factor. In the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, who's a student, "You're not my first student. I've had other students. I gave the same lessons to the sun god, Vivaswan, long before. And those lessons were passed down to Manu, the father of mankind. And then Manu, in turn, passed it on to Ikshvaku, who appeared in the Raghu dynasty. Raghu is the dynasty of Ram. So you can say that Krishna was before Ram, if you want to look at things chronologically. But it doesn't matter who's first, honestly. They're on the same thread. They ride the same wave, like surfers, you know. And therefore we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, right? And we give them sort of equal status. We concentrate a little bit more on Krishna and the Hare Krishna movement, and therefore it's called the Hare Krishna movement instead of the Hare Rama movement, because Krishna becomes, he's, according to the Bhagavatam here, he's the Deva Deva Jagatpate. He is Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. That means he's the source of all the avatars. So you might not know that unless if you read the Shastra. And this is written, scribed by Vyasadeva. And again, well, scribe, I say Ganesh was the scribe. And, but it was delineated by Vyasadeva to tell us the story of Krishna, who appears in this 9th canto, especially the 10th canto. But Ram, we hear a nice synopsis is given here. So there's mention, okay, does anybody know, I'll ask you a quiz question. Arjuna had a beautiful chariot that Krishna was, you know, let's say the taxi cab driver for Jew. And there was a beautiful flag atop the chariot, a banner. And does anybody know what that insignia was? What image was there? Okay. I recognize hands. I don't mind if I get the universal form. Here. Okay, go ahead. Hanuman. That's true. So there's a connection here culturally, right? There's also mention of Janak in the Bhagavad Gita. Janak is the father of Sita, and so there's a tie-in here as well. Janak was a great ruler, and he was also a great devotee. Actually, if you're, let's say you're a political figurehead, but and you do a fairly good job, what really makes your job complete is when you're a spiritual person. That's called Rajarshi, again in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In ancient Vedic times, it was Raja Rishis or Rajarshis that ruled. They were pious, holy, wholesome leaders, political figureheads. And Janak is mentioned there. So we have a few instances where the Ram story and the Krishna story kind of come together. So Krishna's story is eternal, and similarly the story of Ram is. Every year we visit that story. Every year we look at it. We call it the New Year, many of us do. Actually, I would just have to say, here in Canada, it's so great. We have New Year's January 1st. We have New Year's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born. That's usually March or early April. And then we have this New Year, Hanuman's birth, Ganesh. There's many different New Years. So almost every other month, Happy New Year, and it confuses some people, right? It really can rouse them up. And then people also get a little confused. Well, isn't God just one person? Say, not exactly. We have Ram, we have Krishna, we have Parshuram, we have Balaram. There's a whole bunch of Rams in there, you know. And there's also avatars in animal bodies, like Kurma and the fish. See, God manifests in practically all the species of life. So therefore, we're being trained up to understand that all forms of life have something divine in them, and it's not our right to give them trouble. You know, of course, sometimes we have to have battles. Like I'm not a fan of mosquitoes or cockroaches. You know, or you have to do something. You have to be a little bit smart as to when to use your weapons or not. In fact, the whole idea of what comes through in the message of the Bhagavad Gita. We are peaceful people. We're shanti. But there's times when you're dealing with total unreasonable people. And I'll tell you a story. On the walk that I did across the U.S., I was in Toledo, Ohio, and I was walking over the interstate on a bridge. And there were a couple of African-American dudes that were walking, and we met in the middle. And they were eating popcorn. And one of the fellows said to me, "Hey man, are you a monk?" And I said, "Well, yes, I am. Can you teach me how to fight?" So it's always assumed that monks are martial artists. And I said, well, in our bhakti tradition, we don't actually do that. We use logic first. We use reason and gyan, philosophy, to try to avoid or evade any kind of serious conflict. And so I told them, first use the weapon. It starts with a W. No, I'm sorry. First use wisdom, and if that fails, then go to the weapon, right? And when I said that, the guy who was chomping on the popcorn so much, he said, "Hey man, that's so cool." So the Bhagavad Gita really is a text that tells us, convinces us, we should live in shanti, we should live in peace. But there are occasions when you have to raise your voice, like when you're parenting or something like that. Show a little bit of might. You have to be like a cobra. Don't come near, don't, watch out, It's just like a warning sign. It doesn't mean you have to strike and inject poison. It doesn't mean you have to do that. But watch out if someone behaves. And as we determined earlier on, we all misbehave. Again, do I have a show of hands? We all misbehave. Mistreat, misjudge. Okay, right hand, left hand, right leg. Okay, just put it all up there, okay? We're all guilty of these negative dealings and aggressive ways. So how do we take these stories? Is it fantasy? Is it mythology? Like the story of the Mahabharata or the story of the Ramayana? Is it mythology? Well, what you have to do, your job is to grab the essence of all stories. And the essence is bhakti. If you have a problem, you say these stories are very far-fetched, they're really way out there, well, you've got to capture the essence. There's truth behind mythology. And of course, those of us who are devout followers of Krishna and Rama, we accept that these stories are real. They have historical references. There's places there where these things actually occurred. And there's mind-blowing remnants or relics of things that you can read about. They're still there. So I think it's really important for all of us to, one thing is to get familiar with the pastimes, read up on it. Another thing is to see how the stories relate to you. You are Duryodhana inside. You are Ravana. You are some of these monsters. They're lurking inside, and you have to slay them somehow, And a good method is, like we started off by chanting the Maha Mantra, and that's really a good approach. Just chanting, it calms you. And to do that in the morning as a practice. So after you take your shower and you put on your clothes, whether it's work or whatever, or going to the temple, just keep one thing in mind, that we need to cleanse ourselves also with the mantra. And reading the Shastra, being familiar with the words of the Bhagavad Gita, it's really important. And as I mentioned, chapter 10, text 11, God is in our heart, so He is there to do some work. And what is that work? To destroy the darkness of ignorance, or the evil that's inside of us. We are born with evil. It's a carryover from the past. But we're also born in this world with a lot of goodness as well. And that's something to keep in mind, is that we have work to do. And if you think that having a contract whereby you have a job is important, well, let's say the more difficult task, the more difficult job is to work on the little demons inside, you know? And that's a lifelong, you can't retire on that one. You can't do, it's not possible. It's just, in fact, what you will find is a lot of people, this faith stuff, this spiritual stuff, it's all for older people, you know, before they kick the bucket. So Prahlad argued that, and he said, no, it's for now. You start now, and it comes easy. It's second nature to you, so that when you have to apply it later on, it's just something that is habit forming. It's with you, and it should always stay with you. So it doesn't matter whether you're, you know, a kid, or you're a full adult with your married life and all that, or later on when you're kind of retired from many responsibilities. It's a fight that has to be fought right to the very end. And I don't want to say bitter end. It's a good fight. It's a good one. Fighting is not always a bad thing. Some people really relish it. And so that is the good fight. When you fight against each other, between husband and wife, when you fight amongst friends, it's also not very good. Fight, identifying different enemies. The enemy is more you, okay? So look at the mirror, look at yourself through chanting mantras, and then mantra and mirror, those two things, you know, and start working on the little demons inside of you. And if they happen to be big demons, then there's a little more work to do. Then the fight gets more exhilarating, okay? You get really pumped up. What are they saying? What's the saying? The tough get going. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? So that's it. So we're just saying be tough. One of my godbrothers, he wrote a series of books, and we loved him so much. He's an African-American sannyasi, and his name was Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and he wrote a series on spiritual warriors. So we have to be that warrior. We have to be fighters. It's, you know, I mean, pick your fights, pick your battles, right? We hear that too. So go in the right direction. Don't go in the wrong direction, and, as far as this is concerned. So what time are we at right now? 7:25. I've got 4 minutes left, and we can leave this period for any questions that you may have. And anything, if you like something that you heard, then you can even repeat it. Like say, I liked when you said blah, 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 okay? And so that would be a reminder, just like a little endorsement, that that's a thing that works. You can do takeaways in this area. Take away something. So we've got our gopher here. That means he will go for you with his microphone. If anybody has any questions right now, because we're going to finish at 7:30, and there's something else on the agenda at 7:30 that I'm not quite aware of. Hare Krishna. We have a hand here.
Hare Krishna. I don't think I have a question, but I think I really want to repeat something that you said, that demons are within us. The Kali Yuga, everyone sees the outside, what everyone is doing wrong, but we forget to see what we are doing wrong. And I think Diwali right now in this Kali Yuga is supposed to be the demons we fight within us every single day. And it's not easy to fight them. We break down, but I think picking ourselves up and fighting, it's really important to really reach back to Krishna. And I hope everyone who is here takes this as a lesson when we go back home before we go to bed. Think what we fought today, and maybe tomorrow morning we need to fight again. So, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. That was well said. That was very good. That was brilliant. Yes. I think that's what we wanted to glean from this talk, is that do what you can to work on yourself. You know, look at the anomalies that are there, the shortcomings, and do something about it. Don't be laid back. Okay. Any other questions or comments that will come from you? We have just a little time. and anything from anyone, anyone. Hare Krishna. I can ask you the questions, huh? I didn't ask you to clap. All right. What was the name of the district where Sita and Ram and Lakshman hung out for those 14 years? Can I let's say, recognize people's hands? Okay, go ahead. Dandakaranya. That's true. That is actually the forest. Perfect. More specifically, where was the place where I had their little hut, their little shack? Go ahead.
Chitrakoot?
Yes, Chitrakoot. Very much. Well, yay. Can you let's guess on this one? Did Ram and Sita and Lakshman, did they eat pakoras, samosas in the forest? What do you think they ate? Fruit. What else? Avocados. I don't know. If I was there, I'd grow up some avocados. Anything else? Berries, fruits, nuts. That's right. Anything else? There would be some wild vegetation out there, you know, so they would go very simple. Yeah, that's great. What kind of clothes did they wear? Did they go down, was it, they were making a fashion statement. What kind of clothes were they wearing? Tree bark. Yeah, I'd love to see that go down the catwalk in Paris. People dressed in tree bark. If the message gets out there, I'm sure somebody will try that out. They're always trying to come up with new ideas. What was the name of Ram's father? Oh, come on, hands, man. Gee. What was the name? Hand. Yes. King Dasharath. What was the name of his mother? We didn't mention it here, but what was the name of his mother? Prabhu there with the beard. Kaushalya. Yeah, very good. I can see you're well versed in the stories, and that's really good news. Please don't leave this. Don't let Bollywood stories replace this. It's really the best that you're going to get as far as stories are concerned. They're rich, they're deep, they're full of color, and yes, we deal with the themes of good versus evil, and the evil is always overcome by goodness. That's really important. So goodness gracious, I think we have to stop right now. And it was a pleasure being here before you for 1 hour and chanting the mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It was really great. And if you want to make further spiritual advancement, it is highly possible. And so you can approach any of us, like this Prabhu over there, Abhinav. He's one of our Bhakti Academy members. He lives in the temple. Are you at school or are you working? He's in school and he lives in the temple at the same time. And he has the spiritual, Prasadam is always there. And he learns all about all the songs and everything like that. We also have Amala Harinam, who's also a member of the Bhakti Academy. And he decided to wear the saffron. We let him do that. It doesn't mean he's a sannyasi. He's really just a student. But maybe sannyas will come 60 years from now, or 60,000 years, like Dasarath. Hare Krishna. Okay, and we have other devotees here. There's Brahma up there. He's our head priest. He's got his back to us, but he doesn't mean to be rude. Okay, he's busy. He's always busy. And we have other devotees are representing us from other parts here. So anybody who's dressed like Orthodox and with tilak on, they might know something, okay? They might, and then they can help you with your spiritual life. So we would just like to do a little bit of yoga right now. So I'd like you to sit nice and straight and tall with your back, neck, and head erect in a straight line. And I'd like you to look like with no emotion. No emotion whatsoever. Deadpan if anything. Now, if you could take your hands up and have the palms come together. Now lower the two palms and extend out your thumbs and let them hit the forehead. Now what you do is gracefully ski off the nose and let the ends of the two thumbs hit your lips like this. Now fan out like this, stretch out over the lips, curve them upwards, and what do you have? A smile. Happy Diwali. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for wonderful yoga practices. I can see all of you are really eager to know what's happening next. So don't worry, we have something coming up really awesome. We have Nityananda Prabhu here who's setting the mic. So I can guess you all know what's happening. We'll be having a big kirtan now. I'll request all of you if we can face the DT doors now. DTs are currently honoring...
north, this way.
DTs are currently honoring Prasadam, and we'll be starting with the kirtan to prepare the mood. And then 8 p.m. we have crazy party. So, stay here. Haribol.
Oh, so glad. Come again and again. What do you want?
Haribol.
I can play harmonium.
Hare Krishna, it's a really auspicious occasion of Diwali, and we encourage everyone to sing along with us. We'll be singing this mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Yeah, it's easy mantra, not hard and fast rules. So a devotee will be singing first, and we'll be following him back. Okay? So who's leading? So first we'll be listening to the Prabhu who's playing harmonium, and then we'll be singing along with Mother over here.
Mother? Sister?
Hare Krishna, please try to follow along.
Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishta Bhutale Srimate Bhagavate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati
Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare